You know that feeling when your body's vertical, but your soul is just laying face down somewhere? Like the lights are on, but emotionally you're sitting in the shower with your clothes on, eating cold pizza and questioning the fabric of reality? Yeah, this one's for you. Because right now, you don't want motivation. You want to feel like you're not alone in this weird, heavy fog of absolutely not today. So don't worry. I'm not going to tell you to hustle. I'm not here with a spreadsheet and a bullet journal. I'm not going to shame you with a sunrise yoga routine and a smoothie that tastes like regret. I'm just here, sitting in the same boat, slightly unstable, possibly wearing socks that don't match, but real. So let's talk. Let's talk about those days where everything feels like a big fat May. Not dramatic, not tragic, just drained. Where even thinking about doing something useful feels like someone asked you to run a marathon on stilts while carrying your tax problems in a backpack. Days where brushing your teeth feels like a TED talk on perseverance. Where even replying, haha, to a message feels like too much. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're tired. And you've been carrying stuff no one sees. The expectations, the self-doubt, the mental to-do list with 48 tabs open. The quiet voice that whispers, you should be doing more while you're just trying to function. That voice is a liar. A noisy, overachieving liar. You don't need to do more. You need to feel safe enough to move. And that starts with not beating yourself up for feeling stuck. Imagine yelling at a plant for not growing fast enough. Like, hey, you leafy little slacker, where's the progress? Sounds ridiculous, right? But we do that to ourselves all the time. We forget that sometimes we're not in blooming season. We're in the just trying to survive the weather season. And you know what? That's still growth. Still sacred. Still valid. Let me tell you a story. It's not ancient or mystical, just human. There was a man who lived by a river. Every morning he'd wake up and try to carry water back to his garden using 2 buckets. One bucket was new, shiny, flawless. The other had a crack. Every day, by the time he got home, the cracked bucket had lost half its water. It felt useless, embarrassed. It apologized constantly. One day it said, why do you keep using me? I'm broken. And the man smiled. Have you never noticed, he said, the flowers growing along your side of the path? Turns out that dripping bucket had been watering beauty all along the way without even realizing it. That's you. On the days you feel cracked, on the days you feel like a failure because you didn't do the 10 things on your list, you were still bringing value, still showing up. Maybe not for the whole world, but maybe for your pet, or a stranger you smiled at, or for yourself when you decided to just stay. So let's throw out the perfection checklist. You don't need to earn your worth by how productive you are. You're not a machine. You're a messy miracle. A soft animal trying to survive capitalism, Wi-Fi outages, and existential dread. Of course, you're tired. Now, I know some of you are watching this, and your brain's like, okay, cool, nice story. But I still feel like garbage, and my room looks like an emotional crime scene. Good, perfect. Let's start there. Don't aim for a comeback montage. Aim for one tiny thing. Pick up that shirt on the floor, or just touch it. That's it. That's the bar. You could win a gold medal in the Touched a Shirt Olympics right now. And from there, maybe stand up. Maybe drink some water. Maybe just change your socks so you trick your body into thinking you're a new person. I'm not even joking. Sometimes momentum starts with the smallest, dumbest action. Like, when I was going through a full-on life crash, the first thing I did was rearrange my spoons. That's it. They didn't need rearranging. But I needed one thing I could do without failing. And weirdly, that led to dishes, then laundry, then life. So here's the secret. Ready? You don't wait until you feel better to take action. You take action, and then, slowly, the feelings follow. Not always right away. Not like fireworks or an epic movie score kicking in behind you. More like a flicker, a sigh, a soft shift from I can't to maybe I can. And not with some world-shaking, soul-reinventing move. I'm talking small. Stupid small. Like, wipe off the crumb next to your laptop. That's it. That's the bar. You just made progress, my friend. Gold star. Now breathe. See, everyone's waiting for motivation like it's an Amazon package. I'll start when I feel ready. But motivation is not a delivery. It's a side effect, a symptom. It comes after you take the first step, not before. You're not going to think your way out of the hole. You're going to climb awkwardly and slowly, one tiny awkward brick at a time. And the first brick isn't purpose, it's permission. Permission to begin badly. One spoon in the sink, one glass of water, one email sent that you've been avoiding for a month. That's not nothing, that's everything. That's how you teach your body. We're not stuck forever. We're still alive, we still get to try. And you do it not because you're trying to be amazing, not because you're chasing some gold medal version of yourself. You do it because, even on the days when your spark is dim, when your voice shakes, when you feel like a shadow of who you used to be, you still deserve care. You still deserve peace, especially then. You don't stop being worthy when you stop being productive. The way you talk to yourself when you're struggling, that's your character. That's the real you. Not the version of you with all the accomplishments and trophies and organized folders. The version of you that whispers, "It's okay, we'll get through this." That's the you that matters. That's the one who builds the next chapter. So here's the real question. Can you love that person? Can you sit beside them on the couch, under a blanket full of crumbs and regrets, and say, "Hey, I still believe in you"? Can you look in the mirror with no filters, no fancy affirmations, and say, "You're still worth showing up for"? That's not self-help. That's survival. And I get it. Some of you were taught that love is something you earn, that your worth is conditional, that rest is lazy, that softness is weakness. You might have grown up thinking slowing down means falling behind, that if you're not producing, performing, proving, you're wasting space, but that's not truth. That's just programming. Rest is not failure. It's not even a pause. It's a sacred reset. It's how you remember your own voice underneath the noise. Rest is rebellion. Against the voice in your head that calls you lazy. Against the world that treats burnout like a badge of honor. Against every system that profits from you feeling not enough. So when you choose to breathe, when you choose to listen inward instead of scrolling outward, when you put your hand on your chest and whisper, "I'm trying," that's not weakness. That's power. That's you reclaiming your rhythm. That's you telling the world, "I don't have to move fast to be worthy of moving at all." And listen, there will still be days where the fog doesn't lift, where you do everything right and still feel heavy. Days where your brain is like a toddler with a juice box. Just chaos. That doesn't mean you failed. That doesn't mean you've lost your progress. That just means you're human. And the goal isn't to feel good all the time. The goal is to stay close to yourself, to feel real, to not abandon yourself just because the day feels dark. So if today is hard, okay, be in that. Let it be hard. But don't let it be hopeless. You've survived 100% of your worst days. That's a flawless record. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not some broken version of a more successful person. You're right on time. You're the only version of you this world will ever get. And maybe your story isn't loud. Maybe it's not a highlight reel. Maybe it's quiet, steady, written in lowercase. That doesn't make it less meaningful. It makes it real. It makes it yours. So here's how we end, or maybe how we begin again. You don't need to become your best self today. You just need to not give up on the one that's already here. You just need to be willing to meet yourself where you are, unshowered, unsure, and still trying. You don't need to move mountains. Just stretch a finger toward the light. That's enough. That's everything. So stand up, or sit up, or roll to the other side of the bed and blink at a wall for a while. You know what? That counts. That's still you, still showing up, still saying, "I'm here." And maybe, just maybe, tomorrow you'll stand a little taller. But even if you don't, you're not broken. You're blooming, quietly, secretly, beautifully, even now, even here. even if nobody sees it yet, including you. But I do, and I'm proud of you.